Good evening, this is Viewpoint. I'm Zakka Jacob. The Nabanna Chalo Abhiyan, undertaken by the BJP, turned out to be a rather violent affair. Tear gas, water cannons and stone pelting dominated the streets of Kolkata. To the ruling TMC, why bring down the iron fist of the state on a democratic protest? After all, the BJP is the principal opposition party. They have the democratic right given to them by the constitution to protest. And to the BJP, is looting, arson, causing inconvenience to the general public a democratic protest at all? But first, the story of what played out on the streets of Kolkata today.
Clashes, lathi charge, stone pelting, tear gas shells, water cannons, and even crude bombs. Every form of force was used to clamp down on BJP's Nabanna Cholo march. Hundreds of BJP workers from across the state landed up in Kolkata and neighbouring Howrah to take part in a march to the secretariat to protest against alleged corruption by the Trinamool Congress government. The police had not given permission for the march and put up barricades in several places. But what followed was completely unprecedented. Angry BJP workers came face to face with the police and mayhem unfolded.
Major, tussle right now going on between the two sides. Obviously, as far as the security personnel is concerned, it shields up because these stones and bricks are being thrown, frequently from the other side.
BJP leader Suvendu, Adhikari, Locket Chatterjee and Rahul Sinha were stopped by the police near the secretariat and detained after a lot of resistance.
আপনি তো অ্যারেস্ট ডিক্লেয়ার করেছেন আপনি তো আমার গায়ে হাত দিয়েছেন আর দেবে না যা করেছে ঠিক আছে আমি ইনস্ট্রাকশন দিলাম আপনার সামনে কেন ও গায়ে হাত দেবে কেন আমার
In Howrah, the crackdown was most brutal. Protesting BJP workers were manhandled by the police. Water cannons and tear gas shells were fired on them and they retaliated by throwing bricks at the police. Protesters were lathi-charged and rounded up by the cops.
Unfortunately, I've been hit on my shoulder over here, on my left shoulder, but I think I'm okay. And you can see, the police now right in my backdrop. They are now retreating for a bit. Consistent brickbatting that's happening on them.
The BJP has accused the Mamata Banerjee government of trying to forcibly stop a democratic protest.
West Bengal situation is now like North Korea. Here, Lady Kim is the chief minister.
The TMC defended the crackdown and accused BJP goons of destroying public property. The TMC has been cornered over corruption, with several party leaders, including ministers, being arrested or raided over scams. And now, with this shocking use of force, is the Bengal government on the back foot?
All right, I want to first go across to Shogoto, who's joining us live from Howrah, which seems to be the epicenter of the dramatic scenes that we saw today between the police, the Kolkata police, and of course BJP workers. The question to the TMC government, of course, is why not allow a democratic protest? After all, it's the right of an opposition party, and the BJP is the principal opposition party in Bengal, to carry out this peaceful protest. Why block them? And that was what is and arrest their leaders, which is what led to things getting so ugly.
Well, Zakka, to my mind, this is a political tussle. You do know that the Trinamool Congress is battling perception vis-a-vis these allegations of corruption that has been thumped on the Mamata Banerjee administration, senior leaders of the party behind bars, and there are elections to be fought. The panchayat elections not very far from now, and of course the all-important 2024 general elections. That the Trinamool Congress has to fight against the image of Prime Minister Modi here here in Bengal. So obviously the Trinamool Congress doesn't want obviously to take that political space or grant that political space to the BJP. For the BJP, of course, this is a massive opportunity, an opportunity to not only reach out to the hearts and minds of its prospective voters, but also make its presence felt on the streets of Kolkata, where it matters most. And that is why they had planned this this Nabanna Cholo Abhiyan. And as far as the state government is concerned, they would not allow it to happen in any manner, which is why the barricades that were set up, the police proactiveness that we saw throughout the day today. In fact, according to BJP's allegations, since yesterday itself, stopping BJP workers from coming over to the state capital and so on and so forth. As far as the BJP is concerned, obviously the political point that they wanted to make has been made, and there was a lot of drama on the streets today. Law and order situation went out for a toss in many parts of Kolkata and Howrah, and currently the battle is in the legal corridors, where the BJP has moved Calcutta High Court, seeking the court's intervention in hauling up senior Bengal government officials as to why this kind of proactiveness on a democratic movement.
All right, Shogatho, you take care. Thanks very much for reporting for us through the day today. He got lightly injured as well in the process earlier this afternoon. But let's bring this up to now our guest. It is political, no doubt about it. Shishir Bajoria is media in charge of the West Bengal BJP. Manojit Mondal is spokesperson of the Trinamool Congress. Anirban Banerjee is a political analyst. And Professor Gargi Nandi Roy, also political analyst. Let me start with you, Manojit Mondal. I mean, it is a democracy, right? I mean, Bengal is still in a democracy. This was a scheduled democratic protest by an opposition party, the principal opposition party. Why can't opposition parties in Bengal peacefully protest when they've already declared their intent to protest? What is the point of, going after their leaders, water cannoning them, tear gassing them, when all they're asking for is to take out a peaceful protest?
Do you call it a peaceful protest? When your reporters are getting hard, we can see actually, the floods of bricks being thrown at these people, including the police. I think 10 to 12 police people have been injured. You call it a peaceful protest? We knew that this would be a violent protest from the beginning, from our experience, what they did 2 years back. The same kind of violent protest. At that point in time also, they hurled bombs at police personnel. And that's why the police, for right reasons, again considering the fact that BJP's history of violence, considering the fact that at this point in time, we are all in celebratory mood, Durga Puja is coming up.
So, Manojit, is it your point that opposition parties in Bengal cannot protest? Is that the point you're making?
Yeah, 2 days ago, the left also had some kind of rally somewhere else. Did anything happen? They also gathered so many people just 2 days ago. It happened on Saturday. It's
so
left
can protest, but BJP cannot protest because you have an ideological problem with them.
This is your interpretation. Because they were not disturbing the whole city. BJP, you're deliberately trying to disturb the whole city when people are marketing, because after 2 years of devastating pandemic, we are now probably freely celebrating Durga Puja.
Shishir Bajoria, respond. The reason why the TMC government clamped down on this protest was because this was not peaceful. You were setting police vehicles on fire. There was arson, stone pelting on Kolkata streets. This is hardly democratic. That's why you did not get the permission, and this is clearly not an advertisement for democracy. Shishir Bajoria.
Well, to start with, let me tell Mr. Manojit Mondal, possibly he does not know. Let me remind him of a date, 21st of July, 1993. Manojit Babu, 1993. The birth of Trinamool was on the foundation of a similar protest. Instead of Nabanna Chalo, it was Writers Chalo. What was the cause of protest? The cause of protest was the voter ID card. What was the result of that protest? 14 youth of Bengal were shot dead. They used to observe Martyrs' Day, but now that 21st July, they've forgotten, they've converted into Jalsa Divas. Now they have forgotten that their foundation was laid on such a protest. Now yesterday they knew, some Jyotishi came and told Trinamool that there will be violence. So what did they do? West Bengal police entered railway platforms where they cannot. They arrested our karyakartas who were coming to Kolkata. They arrested some yesterday. Actually, moral victory was won when Mamata Banerjee fled the city, and she's not even in the city. She's sitting in Purva Mednipur. Now, I must tell you, your journalist, your reporter, Shaugata Babu, who covers TV programs very well, he said something very, very correct. That the political space, absolutely it's political space. Tell me, you also said, if we had been permitted to take our julus, gone to Nabanna, we would have given a protest memorandum. Let me use a Hindi term, kya Mahabharata ashuddh ho jata? But no, this has to be taught, people have to be taught a lesson in BJP. So what do?
Okay.
A male cop was seen beating a female karyakarta of ours. And then you have shown, Mr. Jacob, on your screen while I was watching, a policeman pelting stones, stone. Your producer may want to show that again. A policeman pelting stone. So, Manojit Babu, these are your policemen, they are your cadre, and they are in different colors of uniform. Today I saw someone in blue, someone in black uniforms, which we have never seen before.
Saga of
Okay,
lies and
give me 1 second, both of you, because I'm getting a piece of breaking news. I need to go to that right now. The Calcutta High Court has now been apprised of this matter. They have now issued notices. They have sought a report from the Home Secretary of Bengal by the 19th, which is next Monday, on the Nabanna Abhiyan of the BJP. In fact, the BJP had moved court earlier today. Kamalika has more details on this. Kamalika, what did the court say as it asked the Home Secretary to file a status report on the protest today?
Yeah, they have. The court has directed that the report should be filed by 19th of this month on what happened in Nabanna Abhiyan. You remember, Zakka, that today in the morning when Suvendu Adhikari was detained, the time of his detention, he said that they are going to move court for this. And they moved the court the way the leaders were detained and they were arrested. That was the point with which BJP went to the court, and the court has now sought a report from the Home Secretary by the 19th of November, because what happened today in entire Kolkata and in and around Howrah, that was really something, that was a scene, a whole day scene. It was a warlike situation there on the ground. So the Kolkata High Court has sought a report from Home Secretary by 19th of September.
All right, Kamalika, we'll leave it at that. So the Calcutta High Court also now weighing in as far as these protests are concerned. Let me go to Professor Gargi Nandi Roy as well as Anirban Banerjee. Professor Roy, first things first, is this an act of the TMC trying to seize back the initiative? After all, over the last month or so, we've seen the arrest of Bharatiya Chatterjee, we've seen the arrest of Anubrata Mondal, we've seen those wads of cash being recovered from Arpita Mukherjee's residence. Is there a sense in the TMC that they were losing the perception battle, even though politically, electorally, they are still numero uno? There is no match for Mamata Banerjee as a regional leader in Bengal. But perceptionally, was it the case that over the last month or two, the TMC seemed to be slipping ground and this is their way of catching up?
Yes, I think, Zakka, the TMC is rattled. Because if you remember, Mamata Banerjee also came into power with this kind of agitation. If you remember, against Shingur and all, that was funded by some corporate. I'm not going into that. So she is rattled. And yes, what today we see on the streets of Bengal, this is the pent-up grievances and anger of people coming out. Because the corruption and of the fascist regime has reached its highs. It is both a fascist rule and corruption. See, they did not need to resist like this. If the procession would have been allowed, they would have just reached. If you resist it with violence, if you use tear gas, if you use water cannon, obviously people will retaliate. Now they will do something in self-defense. So that is not hooliganism. But you could have allowed, but there is no democracy in Bengal. It never existed in this fascist regime.
But Professor Roy, to use a comparable example, you know, a few years ago, the farmers wanted to come to Parliament and protest. They were never allowed. They were, in fact, not even allowed inside Delhi. So you can't have one set of rules in Delhi and another set of rules in Kolkata.
Okay, I'll come see, if they are saying that there is 144 around Nabanna, fine. So there is 144 around Parliament. Okay, you cannot go around near Parliament or you cannot go near Nabanna. But these people were stopped 20 kilometers away. Santragachi, Howrah, at least to some extent they could have been easily allowed. Okay, you can come till this distance. You cannot come near the Sachibalaya.
All right, Professor Roy, I'm really sorry to interrupt you, but Suvendu Adhikari's soundbite is just coming. I think he's been released from detention. Let's listen in.
এখান থেকে আমরা বেরিয়ে এলাম এখনো হাওড়াতে আমাদের রাজ্য সভাপতি সহ কয়েকশো পার্টি কার্যকর্তাকে বিভিন্ন থানায় আটকে রাখা হয়েছে এবং আমাদের প্রায় 200 থেকে 250 কর্মী আহত হয়েছেন, তার মধ্যে 50 জনের বেশি বিভিন্ন হসপিটালে অ্যাডমিশন আছে। এর ঊর্ধ্ব মীনা দেবী তাকে পর্যন্ত গুরুতর চোট পেয়েছেন এবং একাধিক কর্মী ডায়মন্ড হারবার থেকে, মেদিনীপুর থেকে, বাগনান, হুগলি থেকে, উত্তরবঙ্গ, আসানসোল থেকে বহু কর্মী
I can't hear what he's saying.
Adhikari, he's been released from detention just moments ago, speaking to reporters, talking about the number of BJP Karyakartas who've been admitted to hospital. But let me go across to Nabanna Banerjee. And again, I want to take that theme forward, whether it was cattle smuggling, teachers recruitment. There seems to be a lot of explaining that the TMC needs to do and also catching up as far as public perception is concerned. Is what we saw today on the streets of Kolkata, Howrah, etc. Professor Roy, I'm coming back to you. Just give me a moment. Nabanna Banerjee, is it that the TMC trying to try and wrest the narrative back?
See, Zakka, you started the show by saying that this is a democracy, and you are absolutely right. But unfortunately, we are also living in a democracy where we have an recognized political party that officially, and I repeat, officially hails gang rapists and mass murderers as heroes. Therefore, it is my personal opinion that a party like that has no moral right whatsoever questioning any other party on any issue. On any issue, I repeat, that's number one. Number two, this is a march against corruption led by a person who himself was charged with corruption by this very party, by this very BJP. I mean, what kind of an irony is that? Mr. Suvendu Adhikari led this rally. He is the one who has been accused for corruption by BJP.
No, but Anirban, the fact is that none of those charges have been proven, just like the charges against Partho or Anubrata have not been proven. But no. The larger point is, in a democracy, can an opposition party who has 70, 75 MLAs, I don't know the exact number, but they have a substantial number of MLAs, are they allowed to protest or not?
Zakka, I want to rebut.
One second, Professor Roy, I'm coming back to you. Let me decide how to do this.
Zakka, can you ask him to repeat what he said about rape?
Anirban, yeah.
I will.
I will.
Yeah, I want to rebut.
Yes. Well, one at a time, please. Otherwise, our viewers won't be able to hear any of you. But Anirban, yes, answer my question, please. Yeah.
Okay. To answer your question, in 2019, when the Election Commission was in charge of law and order, BJP under Amit Shah held a rally. Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar's statue was desecrated by the goons. Today, there were a gang of goons, I can't say they are political activists, who set fire to a police vehicle in an area which is heavily populated. The vehicle could have exploded. People could have lost their lives. You want to believe that this is political rally? This is political activism. This is nothing less than vandalism. The police had to stop. They have shown tremendous restraint, tremendous patience.
Shishir Bajoria, what do you expect the police to do if police vehicles are set on fire?
This Mr. Nabanna Banerjee should know, and I will name the people whose names appear in police record for Vidyasagar statue. I will name them. The names are Chinu, Hasha. Who is Chinu Nabanna Banerjee? If you know, if you don't know, let me tell you, he was the agent of your North Kolkata Lok Sabha MP. Mr. Nabanna Banerjee, before you utter that word of Vidyasagar statue breaking, think 10 times. Can I respond
to him?
No, please.
One second, let him finish. Let Mr. Bajoria finish, please. Yes.
And second,
thank you.
what did he tell about rape? What did he tell about rape? I was
repeat.
desperately wanting him to repeat. What?
I'll repeat.
Cock and bull
No,
story
he was
Anirban
referring,
Babu
Mr.
coming up. I'm
Bajoria,
sorry,
he was
I have to use
referring
these
to
words.
he was referring to the rapists of Bilkis Bano being sent out on remission. That's what he was referring to.
What is he talking about, sir? What is he talking about?
Gujarat
And
government,
Anirban-
Union government, both led by the
Wait,
BJP.
wait,
and the
Anirban,
Anirban.
please don't interrupt. Please don't interrupt.
What
Let
am
him
I
finish. I'll
talking
come back
about?
to you. Yeah, Mr. Bajoria.
And this Vidyasagar statue, please, this person, Chinu, was your party's MP, the agent.
Okay.
If you don't know, go check the police
don't
records
lie.
in Lal Bazaar. Go, please.
Professor Gargi Nandi Roy, yes, finish the point that you were making that, okay, nobody's being allowed to go to Nabanna, but why stop them 20 kilometers away? I'll come back to you, Manojit. Give me 30 seconds, yeah.
Give me 20 seconds. I'll rebut also what Anirban said.
Yeah.
Yes. So the thing is, and also if you remember from that point, when the farmers went, the police did not come down heavily. In fact, the police were injured. We have seen things on Red Fort, which was shocking. We wanted them to be stopped, but they were not stopped. Firstly, now I'll rebut Anirban Banerjee. Obviously, Vidyasagar statue was vandalized by TMC goons. Secondly, coming to the gang rape thing, I will tell you, Zakka, this gang rape, nobody supported the convicts. They got remission through a legal procedure. It can be immoral, but not illegal. Through legal provision, they got that, and that is again protested in the court. But what happened in Bengal last year, rapes after rape. Do you know, I have made video on a girl from a village who had to flee. Their women were raped at gunpoints in front of their husbands and children. 7,000 cases of molestation after the election results. And till 39 cases are being interviewed. People could not go to the police station in that village in Pandubeshwar. I cannot give the name out on national television.
Let me go back to Manojit Mandal. Let me go back to Manojit Mandal. You have seen one second, ma'am. One second, please. 1 second, ma'am, please. Manojit Mandal. BJP's Amit Malviya says it was Mamta Banerjee who sent TMC cadre to pelt stones at the police so that later the BJP could be blamed for it. Please respond. Why is Mamta Banerjee afraid of the BJP? After all, it is a principal opposition party in your state. Allow them their democratic freedoms and their democratic rights, which is to protest against the policies of your government.
I really feel pity, Zakka, that you are referring to a person who is internationally infamous for his lies and deceit, Mr. Amit Malviya. I mean, is it credible? Is he even known for saying anything credible? The TMC has sent their own cadres to pale stone at the polices. I mean, you can see the few hundred people that BJP could gather. They're speaking in a different language. Apparently, they are from outside the state.
No, but if they are a few hundred and if they are from outside the state, why did you stop them 20 kilometers from Nabanna?
The problem is that, Zakka, I mean, you will not allow me to speak.
No, you are. I mean, if it was so insignificant as you claim, then why did you stop them in Howrah?
Because it was a stated position on the part of the government that these people are historically violent. BJP's rise in late 1980s, it is known throughout the world that these parties rose to power by means of violence.
So, can you also respond to, these pictures that we are showing? No, 1 second. Can you also respond to these pictures that we are showing, Manojit, of policemen throwing stones? Please tell me the last time a policeman threw a stone. Is it the job of a policeman to throw stones?
We one particular policeman, what he was throwing, we really don't know. But people can understand, people can see how many stones were thrown at the police and media persons. You're defending that? You're defending torching.
No, I'm not for a moment defending torching vehicles. I'm not for a moment defending pelting stones. Neither am I defending the fact that a democratic protest needs to be stopped 20 kilometers away from the government secretariat.
I mean, this is amazing, Zakka. Are we so much of blind-founded that folded they are calling it a democratic protest? Is BJP known for democratic process?
If you allowed them to march close to the secretariat, allowed them to peacefully demonstrate without arresting their leaders, maybe things wouldn't have gone. Maybe things wouldn't have gone this far.
Only if you allow me to reply, I can.
Yes, sir.
1993. My friend was at that point of a certainly not in BJP, but I'm with Mohammed Fatih. TMC was not talking. We know what happened.
You were with.
Police,
Hey, Manojit Babu. Manojit Babu.
Police.
Manojit Babu. You were in TMC. TMC was not born.
I was with Mamta. I did not say I was with TMC.
You were in Congress. No, were you in Congress? Please answer yes or no. Which part of Congress
know your history. You are with CPIM. Everyone knows. That besides the point.
Yes, of course I was.
Of course I was. So why are you teaching me history? You first.
I'm only teaching you history to remind you of the protest.
Look at the violent people.
Manojit Babu, to remind you of the protest.
The BJP people are violent even inside the studio. They speak violent. They breathe violent. They can't live without violence. They're a party with violence.
No, so Shishir Bajoria, the larger point, the larger point that's being asked is, once again, sir, that the farmers were also not allowed to protest in Delhi. So why is it any different from what Mamta Banerjee is doing?
No, Mamta Banerjee did not stop anyone.
No, one second. Of course, Howrah is 20 kilometers away. That's why they were stopped today. Anyway, Manojit, I've heard you. Let Shishir Bajoria respond. Shishir Bajoria.
Very clearly, Zakka. As far as we are concerned, we gave due notice to the West Bengal government, to the West Bengal police and Calcutta police. It is only late last evening that they turned down our request about information that we are going to march. They just said one line, because your track record was bad. What track record are you talking? Normally in such a case, you would call the party and sit for a face-to-face and read out what you want and what you don't want. This is what we had done. Can you compare it with the farmers thing? Farmers agitation? No, sir, not at all. And this is what the great TMC did. And about throwing stones, let me tell you, I have lived my life in Kolkata. I have not seen the different colors of police uniform that we saw today. I have not seen. I can lay a bet that there were Trinamool people in different uniforms. Civic volunteers.
Absolute lie.
Everybody in the state knows. Everybody in the state knows. Manojit Babu.
Okay, Manojit.
Dheeraj rakhiye. Manojit Babu, dheeraj rakhiye. Everybody in the state knows who they are. Because sometimes their police word.
No, it's a big charge. It's a big charge that Shishir Bajoria has made that there were TMC people in police uniforms today. Manojit, respond to that. TMC people in police uniforms.
This is a damn lie. Sorry to use this word. Spoken by a person who is very sick. This is a damn lie. I mean, how can you stoop so low and blame my party
Manojit Babu, you may not agree with me. You may not agree with me. But whatever it is, I don't like.
Okay. I'll give Professor Gargi Nandi Roy the final word. Professor Roy, how does this story now move forward? Is this the end of this protest, or will the BJP take this up further? And as Manojit said, when the whole state is getting ready for Pujo, we haven't celebrated Pujo in 2 years, is this the time to be protesting?
Yes, I think when a time for a political change comes, this kind of uprising is seen. I think this will continue, not only with politically, people will come out. And as Manojit said, Pujo is coming. I want to add a last word. You know, Zakka, Ma Durga, she comes down on this earth to kill Mahishasur. So that is triumph of good over evil. I pray, may a Ma Durga come on the land of Bengal and annihilate the Mahisasurs of Bengal. That is my last word.
Okay.
May a Ma Durga eliminate the Mahisasurs of Bengal.
All right, we'll leave it at that. I'm completely out of time. Thank you very much, Professor Roy, Manojit Mandal, Shishir Bajoria, and of course, Nabanna Banerjee for joining us. We'll see how this story plays out. We'll discuss this at 9 o'clock as well. On Brass Tacks. That's a wrap. In a moment, Ridhima will join you with the biggest exclusive.